Stand up right now. Go ahead. I'll wait for you. Really do it. Pause for just a second and actually get on your feet. Now, as you're standing there, notice carefully how your feet feel in this exact moment. Pay very close attention to every subtle detail. Is there a subtle tingling running through your toes, or perhaps spreading across the balls of your feet? Maybe you're sensing a warm or even burning sensation right now, or possibly a slight numbness that's just beginning to creep in slowly and quietly. Take a moment to really tune in to that feeling. What if I told you, honestly, and based on what I've seen repeatedly in my practice over the years, that this very discomfort you're noticing right this second isn't simply an unavoidable result of getting older, isn't solely caused by diabetes in every single case, and isn't always due to some completely irreversible form of nerve damage that nothing can ever touch or influence. In many cases, far more cases than most people realize or are ever clearly told by healthcare providers, this sensation can actually be made noticeably worse, and sometimes dramatically worse, by ordinary, everyday habits that most people never even stop to consider or notice they're doing on a regular, ongoing basis. These are the kinds of things we do without thinking, yet they quietly influence how our nerves respond day after day. Hi there, I'm Dr. Michael Kent, and after devoting more than 20 full years of my professional life, specifically to the study and treatment of nerve health and neuropathy, particularly in older adults just like so many of you watching today, I can confidently tell you that a great deal of what people are commonly told about neuropathy only covers part of the real story. The fuller, more complete reality is this. Your nerves are extraordinarily sensitive to a wide range of lifestyle factors, and even seemingly small, minor everyday habits that feel completely harmless and routine can, over weeks, months, and years, gradually intensify your symptoms in ways that truly add up significantly over time. It's important to understand and really internalize this truth. These habits aren't always obvious at first glance. They sneak into daily routines without much thought or awareness, but their cumulative effect on nerve health can be profound, far-reaching, and unfortunately quite damaging if left unaddressed for too long. Recognizing this opens the door to real change, and that's exactly what we're going to focus on together today. In the next roughly 25 minutes, I'm going to carefully reveal 7 surprising yet very common habits that could quite literally be aggravating your neuropathy symptoms at this very moment as we speak. And perhaps even more importantly, I'm going to share with you the precise practical adjustments you can start making right away today to help soothe those irritated nerves, improve vital circulation to the affected areas, and genuinely ease the pain and discomfort you've been dealing with for far too long. These specific approaches and recommendations I'm about to share are solidly backed by credible research coming out of respected institutions such as Harvard Medical School, the renowned Mayo Clinic, and Johns Hopkins University. This research isn't just theoretical or abstract, it's based on real studies involving thousands of participants, showing clear, measurable improvements in nerve function and meaningful symptom relief that people can actually feel and notice in their daily lives. These aren't vague suggestions. They're grounded in evidence that has helped many people experience tangible progress, and that's the kind of reliable guidance I want to bring to you. Before we truly dive deep into the details, I'd like to ask you to take just a quick moment right now to drop a simple comment below with only your age. Nothing else, just the number. Doing this genuinely helps me better understand the audience I'm speaking to so I can continue tailoring the guidance more effectively to different life stages in future videos. Your input allows me to refine my advice, making it more relevant, more targeted, and ultimately more helpful, whether you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond. It only takes a second, and it truly makes a difference in how I shape future content for you. Your participation right now helps build something valuable for everyone watching. By the time this presentation comes to an end, you're going to have a much clearer understanding of exactly why 2 different individuals who receive what appears to be the very same neuropathy diagnosis can end up experiencing vastly different day-to-day outcomes. One person steadily getting worse, while another manages to see real, meaningful improvement and even reversal of some symptoms. More importantly, you'll walk away knowing exactly how you can position yourself to become the one who experiences genuine progress rather than continued decline. This difference often boils down to awareness and consistent action on those subtle habits that influence nerve health every single day. It's not about luck. It's about informed, intentional choices that you can make starting today. Far too many people simply assume that neuropathy is something unavoidable, a condition that will inevitably worsen over time no matter what they do or try. But here is the single most crucial insight that far too often gets completely overlooked in standard discussions with doctors or in general information online. Your nerves are always actively responding to the environment they're living in. The repeated daily habits you engage in, many of which seem completely harmless or even comforting on the surface, can either quietly nurture and support ongoing nerve health or, unfortunately, slowly and steadily undermine it without you realizing until the symptoms become more intense and harder to ignore. It's like tending a garden. Consistent care leads to growth and vitality, while neglect allows weeds to take over and choke out the healthy plants entirely. Your daily choices are the care or the neglect that shapes the outcome for your nerves. Understanding this shifts everything from passive acceptance to active empowerment. So please stick with me all the way through to the end, because the very last habit I'm going to share today is one that almost everyone over the age of 60 does on a regular basis, usually completely without realizing just how significantly it can contribute to increased nerve pain and discomfort. By the time we finish, you'll have in your hands a full, clear, and highly practical framework that you can start using immediately to regain a real sense of control and begin genuinely supporting your nerves starting as early as today. This framework isn't complicated at all. It's about making mindful, sustainable shifts that fit into your routine seamlessly without feeling overwhelming or burdensome in any way. Small steps, done consistently, lead to real results. And that's what makes this approach so powerful and accessible. Let's begin by first talking openly about what is actually happening inside your body when it comes to neuropathy, something that rarely gets discussed in enough detail during typical appointments. When you move into your 60s, 70s, and beyond, several important key changes naturally occur in the body, and these changes directly influence how neuropathy behaves and progresses over time. Aging affects circulation, nerve resilience, and overall tissue health in ways that can amplify symptoms noticeably if not addressed thoughtfully and proactively. Understanding these changes helps explain why habits matter so much and why paying attention to them can make such a meaningful difference. Try to think of your peripheral nerves as incredibly delicate electrical cables running throughout your body. Just like any cable, if those nerves don't consistently receive the proper nourishment they require, including adequate oxygen and essential nutrients delivered reliably and steadily, the electrical signals they carry can start to falter, weaken, or become disrupted in subtle but accumulating ways. Those vital nutrients and oxygen are delivered to the nerves primarily through your blood vessels. But as the years go by, our arteries naturally become less flexible and more stiff. Overall blood flow tends to decrease in certain areas, particularly in the extremities like the legs and feet. And as a direct result, those nerves simply receive less of the nourishment they desperately need to function properly and repair themselves on an ongoing basis. This reduced flow creates a cycle where minor damage accumulates gradually, leading to more pronounced symptoms over months and years. Breaking that cycle starts with better habits that support better circulation and nourishment day after day. A significant study conducted at Johns Hopkins followed more than 1,200 adults over a period of 5 full years, and the findings were quite striking. Individuals who showed evidence of reduced blood flow specifically in their lower legs turned out to be 52% more likely to experience a clear worsening of foot numbness, burning sensations, and other related neuropathy symptoms. This highlights how circulation isn't just a side issue, it's absolutely central to nerve health and long-term comfort. Improving circulation through simple daily actions can make a measurable difference, and that's something we can all work toward. Even if you're someone who already makes an effort to get regular walks or some form of exercise when you can, there's still one very common pattern that can override those benefits to a surprising degree. Spending extended periods sitting down, whether that's while watching television for hours on end, sitting behind the wheel during long drives, or even just reading or working at a desk for prolonged stretches. All of that prolonged sitting can gradually compress sensitive nerves and seriously limit healthy circulation to the lower extremities. Blood flow is essential because it carries oxygen and nutrients that nerves need to stay healthy and repair minor damage. Without it, nerves can weaken over time, leading to more pain and sensitivity. This is why even short walks or movement breaks help so much. They get the blood pumping again, revitalizing the nerves and reducing stagnation that builds up during those long sedentary periods. The simple but powerful adjustment here is to intentionally make it a new habit to stand up and move every 30 to 45 minutes throughout your day. When you stand, take a moment to rotate your ankles in gentle circles, flex and point your calves a few times, or even take a quick 2-minute slow stroll around the room if possible. These brief but regular movement breaks work to restore proper blood flow, reduce built-up pressure on the nerves, and provide noticeable relief over time as the habit becomes consistent. Incorporating this one small change can prevent the buildup of pressure that exacerbates tingling, numbness, and that frustrating burning feeling. Making this a regular part of your routine helps counteract the negative effects of sedentary periods and supports better nerve nourishment throughout the day. It's easy to build in, and the benefits accumulate quickly with repetition. If you personally have ever noticed that numbness or tingling seems to get noticeably worse after sitting for a long stretch, please type the words "wake up" in the comments section right now so I know you're relating to this and finding value here. Your engagement helps build our community and lets others know they're not alone in these experiences. Now let's move to something that truly catches a surprisingly large number of people off guard, even many who do not have a formal diabetes diagnosis. Repeated spikes and sharp drops in your blood sugar levels throughout the day can actually damage and irritate nerves just as severely as having consistently elevated glucose readings all the time. Stable levels prevent inflammation, which is like a fire in the nerves that makes everything hurt more intensely. By eating balanced meals regularly, you put out that fire slowly over time and protect your nerves from unnecessary stress that builds up otherwise. Think about what happens after you eat sugary foods, sweet treats, or particularly large carbohydrate-heavy meals. Your blood glucose surges upward quickly, and that rapid rise triggers inflammation in the nerves, along with oxidative stress and damage at the cellular level. Then, when those levels crash back down sharply afterward, the nerves are suddenly left starved for the steady energy supply they rely on, which in turn ramps up pain signals and heightens overall sensitivity. This roller coaster effect stresses the nerves repeatedly, making them more prone to irritation and long-term damage if it continues day after day. Avoiding those extremes protects your nerves day in and day out, creating a calmer environment for them to heal and function. This up and down pattern, when repeated consistently, gradually worsens neuropathy symptoms over the long term. Impressive research published out of Harvard Medical School clearly demonstrated that when older adults focused on keeping their blood sugar levels more stable and consistent, they experienced a measurable 35% reduction in nerve irritation and burning sensations after following the approach for just 8 weeks. This shows how quickly the body can respond positively to better glucose management with simple dietary tweaks. The improvements can come faster than many expect, giving real hope for noticeable change. So how can you work toward achieving more stable glucose levels in practical, everyday terms? Start by intentionally combining any carbohydrates you eat with sources of protein or healthy fats. For example, pair fruit with a handful of nuts, or add avocado to your sandwich. Opt for smaller, more frequent meals rather than a few very large ones, and make a conscious effort to limit oversized portions of refined carbohydrates like white bread, sugary cereals, pastries, or large bowls of pasta. When you succeed in maintaining more stable blood glucose throughout the day, it goes a long way toward calming inflamed nerves and reducing that persistent discomfort you've been enduring. These choices help create a steady energy flow, protecting nerves from unnecessary stress and allowing them to function more smoothly. It's about balance, not deprivation, and small adjustments here can lead to big differences. Another habit that surprises many is going barefoot around the house or wearing very thin, soft, unsupportive house slippers simply because it feels comfortable and relaxing after a long day. While it may feel nice in the moment, this practice actually creates real problems for already sensitive nerves. Without adequate cushioning and arch support, there is increased direct pressure placed on vulnerable pressure points in the feet, nerves get compressed more easily, and the overall strain on the entire foot and ankle structure rises significantly. Good support acts like a shield for your feet, protecting them from daily wear and tear that adds up. Bad slippers are like walking on thin ice. They don't hold up, leaving nerves exposed to constant micro-injuries that worsen symptoms over time. The nerves in your feet and ankles are naturally encased in protective layers of tissue, but when that protection is consistently lacking due to inadequate support, the result is ongoing micro-trauma that builds up day after day. Over time, this leads to intensified burning sensations, deeper numbness, increased pain, and frequently disrupted sleep, because the discomfort becomes worse at night when you're trying to rest. Without proper footwear indoors, even simple activities like walking on hard floors can aggravate symptoms noticeably and make daily life harder than it needs to be. A very compelling 2022 study from the Mayo Clinic looked specifically at older adults who made the switch to wearing more supportive footwear, even just indoors at home, and the results were impressive. Participants saw an average 43% reduction in foot pain levels within only 6 weeks of consistent use. This demonstrates the rapid benefits of better support when you make it a daily priority. The change is straightforward, yet the impact can be substantial and truly life-changing for many. The recommendation here is straightforward and easy to implement. Look for shoes or well-constructed house slippers that offer firm, non-flexible soles for better stability, nicely padded insoles to absorb shock with each step, and generous, roomy toe boxes so your toes aren't squeezed together uncomfortably. The great news is that making this one change for indoor wear alone can deliver surprisingly significant relief without requiring major expense or effort. Start with affordable options that prioritize comfort, protection, and support over the long term. Your feet will thank you, and your nerves will feel the difference. As we get older, one change many people don't anticipate is that the body's natural thirst signals tend to become less reliable and less pronounced than they once were. Because of this, mild chronic dehydration turns out to be surprisingly common among older adults, and unfortunately, it has a direct negative impact on nerve function that can compound other issues. Water is the lubricant for your body's systems, including nerves. Dehydration thickens blood, making it harder to flow efficiently, so nerves suffer from reduced nutrient delivery and slower waste removal. Staying hydrated keeps everything moving smoothly and supports nerve health at a basic level. Water plays a critical role in proper nerve signal transmission, in making sure nutrients reach the nerves efficiently through circulation, and in helping flush away metabolic waste products that can otherwise accumulate and irritate tissues over time. When hydration levels dip even mildly on a regular basis, nerve impulses can become irregular or sluggish, which often triggers or worsens symptoms such as tingling, burning feelings, or even painful muscle cramps. This lack of hydration exacerbates the stiffness and sensitivity that many experience day to day. Consistent hydration supports nerve health in a foundational way that shouldn't be overlooked. The practical fix is to develop the habit of drinking water steadily and consistently throughout the entire day instead of waiting until you actually feel thirsty, because by then you're already behind. A very simple and reliable way to gauge whether you're on track is to check the color of your urine. It should ideally stay a pale yellow most of the time rather than dark yellow or amber, which signals dehydration. Aim for at least 8 glasses a day, adjusted for your activity level, body size, and climate, and sip regularly rather than gulping large amounts at once. Make it part of your routine, like having a glass with each meal and between meals as well. For some individuals, adding a small amount of electrolytes, such as through a low-sugar electrolyte drink, can be helpful in maintaining balance and supporting nerve function. But I always recommend checking with your doctor first before making that addition, especially if you have any kidney or heart-related conditions. Proper hydration supports overall vitality, making it easier for nerves to heal, repair, and function optimally on a daily basis. It's one of the simplest yet most powerful adjustments you can make. Many people rely heavily on pain medications to help control their neuropathy symptoms. And while these medications certainly have an important role to play in managing acute discomfort when needed, depending on them exclusively and long-term can sometimes unintentionally hinder the kind of longer-term recovery and nerve improvement we're aiming for. It's about finding balance. Use them as part of your plan, but don't rely only on them. Combine medications with supportive habits for the best overall results, as medications often treat symptoms without fixing underlying issues like poor circulation or inflammation. Certain classes of medications can subtly restrict blood flow to peripheral nerves or simply mask the underlying irritation without doing anything to address or reduce the root causes over time. The ultimate goal should always be to support the overall health and resilience of the nerves themselves, rather than just suppressing the pain signals they're sending. By focusing on lifestyle changes that improve circulation, nutrition, and hydration, you can often reduce the need for medications gradually and experience more sustainable relief. This combined approach yields the best long-term outcomes for comfort and function. Medications absolutely belong as part of a thoughtful, comprehensive plan when needed, but giving priority to improving circulation, optimizing nutrition, staying well hydrated, and incorporating supportive daily habits often produces more lasting benefits that go beyond temporary pain relief. This holistic approach empowers you to address the causes, not just the effects, and take greater control of your comfort and quality of life in meaningful ways. The best way to approach the Nervo protocol is to begin with small, steady, and sustainable adjustments, rather than trying to change everything overnight, which can feel overwhelming. Start with 1 or 2 steps that resonate most with you right now. Build consistency over a week or 2, and gradually add more as they become natural. This gradual implementation increases long-term success and helps you see real progress without frustration. Celebrate the small wins along the way. They add up and keep you motivated. Your feedback inspires others who are on this same journey. I genuinely look forward to reading your stories of progress and celebrating those wins with you in the comments. Community sharing motivates everyone, creating a supportive network for those dealing with neuropathy and reminding us we're not alone in this. Over these past 25 minutes, we've explored 7 common habits that may be aggravating your neuropathy right now, along with the targeted, evidence-based fixes to help calm your nerves, restore better circulation, and reduce pain, drawing directly from research at Harvard, Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, and similar trusted sources. This is solid information, grounded in science and real results from actual people who have seen improvements. If any part of this has resonated with you or given you new hope for better days ahead, please consider subscribing so you don't miss next week's video, where I'll share advanced nerve protection tips, including 1 key nutrient that many seniors unknowingly miss out on in their diets. Stay connected for more valuable insights tailored to your needs. And if you've made it all the way to the end of this presentation, drop the comment "Nerve Strong" below to let me know. It's a signal of commitment to your health journey and a way to show you're ready to take those small steps toward feeling better. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'm Dr. Michael Kent, and I'll see you next time. Take good care of those nerves starting today. To wrap up, stand up once more if you can, feel your feet again, and remember, habits matter more than most people realize. Change them thoughtfully, and relief often follows. Thank you for being here.